Hello viewers, welcome to our channel, and today we are going to talk about COVID-19, which is a highly infectious respiratory disease caused by the new coronavirus. COVID-19 has affected the business world, factories and major industries such as the entertainment and events. Further, the ban on mass congregation has seen the wedding guest list slashed, as well as a limit in the number of people attending burials. Not forgetting, it has seen the church under lock and key for a period of time, which means the believers have not been able to gather for fellowships as usual. Even the worship leaders have also not been able to gather for practices and many other activities that run from day to day every time in church. The disease was discovered in China in December 2019 and has since spread over the various parts of the world. Many times, mankind reacts to issues in different ways depending on various beliefs, attitudes, as well as perceptions towards particular subjects that he encounters from time to time. A human mind receives and interprets information differently in relation to the aforementioned factors, which may lead to either a positive or a negative feedback, as a way of coping with the processed stimuli or information which is received from various sources surrounding an individual. In the wake of 2020, anticipations ran high as goals were set, as well as revisiting of the unachieved ones in the previous decade, owing to the fact that a new one was beginning. And none can deny having set goals, whether family, business, school, or even ministry goals, depending on the level of each and where they fit, in an attempt to improve livelihood. That means that even you, my viewer, had some goals, and by the way, have you achieved them? However, the first quarter of those plans was shaken due to a dark mystery that began to unfold. Day and night, the story began to unfold, and the reality of what other parts of the world were experiencing began to dawn on everyone. The news of a new disease struck the previously calm environment and set everything on panic mode. Plans were halted as the relevant authorities worked and are still working round the clock to give us the relevant information as well as ways to cope. In short, people were fed on information, but how to process it solely depended on them, or is solely dependent on them. This then brings us to the stages of coping with information, which will be elaborated by the illustration below. The first stage is indicated by the fear zone. It shows a pure statement of panic, anger, blame, irritability, even though the ones being blamed are also clueless as the ones who are blaming them. Worldwide, people continued to panic, and they really did what they termed as the lockdown shopping. It was done in lump sum. It was huge all over. This was all in an attempt to secure their lives. But as a Christian, the word of God forbids us from fear, worry, and anxiety, as those cannot even add a single hour to life. Particularly in the book of Matthew 6:27, it says, "Can any of you add a single hour to your life by worrying?" Fear is a factor that undoes very many Christians. It denies them a chance of operating in faith, which means it then denies God a chance of working as He should in our lives. Because the world in Isaiah 41:10 says, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." Father, ease up by knowing that the Lord does not give a spirit of fear, but indeed He gives a spirit of love, a spirit of power, and a sound mind, in accordance to 2 Timothy 1:7. I mean, as a believer, what other reassurance do you need? What other means do you need in order to ease up at this particular moment? What you should indeed know is that when the Lord is on your side, surely you are a conqueror. His word says that you are more than a conqueror. So by coming to understanding of that, you should be able to know what to fear and what to stand for in your faith. The second stage is usually a learning one, and usually many people begin to ease up they adapt as well as devise means to cope with the situation. And this will then see an individual become cautious on what he consumes, from information to news to food, and this is all done in a bid to avoid tension as well as curb fear. There is also a reduced circulation of rumors and propaganda at this stage. This is because information is more clearer, information is more understood owing to the updates and the researches that we keep getting from time to time. We also get to see the government develop and call out for certain measures to control the spread of the virus. And as a Christian, the Word of God calls us out in Romans 13:1-2 to obey the governing authorities, as their establishment comes from God. And because rebelling of the authorities is no different from rebelling against God. Hence, we are now getting to a point whereby we're taking charge to prevent the spread of the disease, e.g. by obeying the directives of wearing preventive gear, observing proper hygiene, observing the directive of proper social distances of 1.5 meters, clearing from the streets at the right hours as indicated, and the like. The last stage on coping, it usually entails about thinking about others, finding ways to help them, and for a fact, I commend those who have come out to pay rent for tenants that have been kicked out, or even offered a bowl of food and a cup of water to the hungry and thirsty. At this particular moment, we all have found a purpose, and gratefulness has set in, and people adapt and live in the present without anxiety, contrary to what is seen in the first stage. And in all this, Isaiah 26:20 says, "Go, my people, enter your rooms and shut the doors behind you. Hide yourselves for a little while until his wrath has passed," which means the directive of a quarantine is biblical. The directive of staying home is biblical. That indeed stay as until the disaster passes by. And after, we will all sing a song of victory together. We will sing a song that we have won the fight, because the word calls us as Christians. It declares that we are more than conquerors. What more can you stand in fear? What can you be anxious for when you know that you have the winner, you have the conqueror by your side? I am Nyoka Bimbogwa, and be blessed, and don't forget to stay home. Don't forget to observe all directives given. Be blessed.